Well, welcome back, everybody. We are currently live on Twitch while we're filming this, but you're probably watching on YouTube later. Hello, Twitch chat. Welcome. Saw an article come up recently that I didn't read into yet because it looked interesting, but I saw that there's a festival in Wisconsin that is going to be trying to regulate moshing. I don't know if this means no moshing or what they're trying to do, but I want to dive into this really quick. Okay, so the article that we're going to check out first is from Billboard. The headline says, Wisconsin Rock Fest announces new designated moshing area, ban on hardcore dancing and flail moshing. Flail moshing, that is all I'm going to refer to hardcore dancing as from now on. Just fucking flail moshing. Amazing. Wisconsin Rock Fest. I can't say I'm familiar with that. That's not like a stab at them or anything. I'm just my point of reference. I'm not familiar with Wisconsin Rock Fest. Wait a second. Is this the festival that last year Falling in Reverse was at? Ronnie Radke like went off about because the crowd was like super lame and they had like seats up front or something. Was this the same one? I'm sure they'll bring that up if it's that's the case. Article starts off by saying this year's Rock Fest in Cadott, Wisconsin, might have pronounced that wrong. Sorry, Wisconsinites. Don't cheese me to death. Has a killer lineup of acts that are sure to get attendees riled up at what is billed as the largest rock and camping event in the U.S. I thought that was Blue Ridge. The event that features more than 75 bands on 3 stages on a 360-acre site will host headliners Jelly Roll, Shinedown, and 30 Seconds to Mars this year. But if you're planning on coming out swinging to your favorite hard rock bands, you're gonna need to pump the brakes. This article is gonna be loaded with like really cheesy lines for sure. It's like somebody that knows nothing about like moshing culture is writing these. Article continues by saying, according to a list of improvements for the 7th edition of the fest, the new rules this year include one that will tamp down on hardcore dancing and the arm-swinging, high-kicking, flailing style of moshing. I'm sorry, dude. Fucking karate bros. Fucking get it together here. I don't know why this is so funny to me, dude. An Instagram post from organizers on the July 18th to 20th festival on Tuesday explained that while the gathering is held back on moshing in the past to ensure attendees' safety and a nod to the popularity of the sometimes bruising mosh pit experience, they are setting up some designated air punching and kicking areas. If this wasn't on Billboard, I would think this is a joke. Was this posted on April 1st? No, it was not. This was posted today. It says, quote, in the past, we've held back on moshing at Rockfest to ensure everyone's safety, which is our top priority. We know, however, that moshing is a vital part of rockers. Rocker. Who calls people rockers nowadays? It's like that South Park episode where Timmy joins a band and they finally make it and dude's like, yes, I'm a rocker. Kirk from Crowbar. We know, however, that moshing is a vital part of rockers' release and metal experience for many of you. We've listened to your feedback and are excited to introduce a moshing area at the Budweiser Boneyard stage as a pilot program, the post read. At press time, organizers had not returned Billboard's request for additional information on the new moshing rules, which some commenters thought might be an April Fool's Day prank. Understandable. This allows us to embrace the energy of moshing while maintaining a safe environment for all festival goers, organizers continued. We're setting up designated zones for both moshers and non-moshers, ensuring everyone can still enjoy the show up close. Please note, for everyone's safety, that P is lowercase there after a period. That should be capitalized. Journalist, man. Please note, for everyone's safety, hardcore dancing styles, flail moshing will not be permitted. Let's rock responsibly. Keep an eye out for our brothers and sisters and make this a memorable addition to Rockfest 2024. Other improvements this year include rental lockers, mocktail drink options, early camping, power upgrades to the Heathens Highway campground, more hammocks, more theme days, and more shady areas. Shady like tree shady? Or like a back alley at Oktoberfest in Munich. Shady. Night 1 of Rockfest will be topped by 30 Seconds and feature sets from 311, Killswitch Engage, Seven Dust, Dirty Honey, and Sleep Theory. While Night 2 will be headlined by Shinedown and include performances from Parkway Drive, Beartooth, Atreyu, From Ashes to New, Stabbing Westward, and more. The final night's lineup will have Chevelle the Who, Fever 333, Two Live Crew, really? Wow. And Struggle Jennings playing alongside headliner Jelly Roll. How the has this Rockfest been around for a while? And if they've always had lineups like that, how do you enforce no moshing to bands like Parkway, Beartooth, Atreyu, Killswitch, Sevendust? What? That's insane. I mean, unless they're enforcing things like the FET Music Hall that we talked about before, where they're just dragging motherfuckers out that are moshing. That's insane. I don't know how you enforce that at a large festival with that many bands. Like, I'd be really curious to know how they've enforced this in the past. Cause like with the culture of metalheads and rockers, usually you tell an entire crowd not to mosh. And eventually there's going to be a turning point where people are like, F this shit. Like, we're starting a pit. Especially, you know, you're like in your late teens, early 20s, your favorite band's on stage. Maybe you keep it together for a while and you're like, oh, this sucks. Like, oh, can't mosh. It's stupid. But then your favorite song comes on and you're like, F it. You know what I mean? That happened to me like 10 years ago when I went and saw Hatebreed. Past my moshing days, but then they played Last Breath. I was standing in front of house next to their sound guy because he's a friend of mine. And right when I heard the intro to Last Breath, I was like, F this shit. Took off my coat, went in there, got f***ed up. And I've never moshed again. Loudwire said, Rockfest took a little bit of a public image hit last year after one of the performers, Ronnie Radke of Falling in Reverse, called out the Rockfest crowd for being less than energetic during his band's performance. Radke stated on Twitter, it's time for bands to criticize crowds. Cadott, Wisconsin was boring as hell. Lol. What are some cities dudes hate playing because you know the crowds are lame? Oh, I like the engagement question in there. I remember this. I remember Ronnie being like less than thrilled about how boring this crowd was at this festival performance. And I remember seeing pictures and videos where the front of the stage literally was not GA. It was all like lawn chairs and stuff. And I will say that's not uncommon for a lot of festivals, but it's usually the older like boomery festivals that have like classic rock bands. Like if you're going to see like Journey and Pat Benatar and Cheap Trick and shit, like that's usually what you'll see. You'll see the lawn chair set up and no GA because all those people aren't moshing anyways. I say boomery to be funny. Like I would go to that show. I would enjoy that show a ton. But to do it at a rock fest where you have a bunch of metal bands and stuff is a little weird. It seems kind of money grabby where they're probably trying to sell those spots up close to the stage with lawn chairs for like you pay more, you get to bring your lawn chairs, stuff like that. But I do remember this. And before anybody says anything about Ronnie, which it's probably already happened in chat, like we're not getting into a Ronnie Radke morality debate on this one. Like let's just take this at face value. I am actually fine with artists criticizing venue setups and concerts and shows that are less than favorable. And before anybody suggests that, oh, you really think it was because of Ronnie that they changed this? Yeah, probably. He probably got the ball rolling on this. A lot of these musicians and people in the music industry do have, I wouldn't say a place of authority, but they definitely have a voice. And one thing that companies hate more than anything is people calling them out on social media. Like if you ever, like let's say you fly like Southwest or United Air or something and your flight's super messed up, maybe it doesn't have internet on it or anything like that. You go on Twitter and you complain about it. Dude, you'll get a response faster than you would if you called customer service. We actually had that happen on tour once where we took a flight. It was like a 5-hour flight and the internet wasn't working. And our videographer at the time, like tweeted Southwest Air. They gave everybody on our ticket confirmation that was a part of that ticket purchase, like free vouchers for a free flight just because they want to make it look like they're doing something. Companies hate people complaining online and making things public. So for a person like Ronnie to do that, he probably did instigate a little bit of a change with this. Maybe it wasn't just his post that they saw and decided to do that, but the response to it and the people talking about it probably made the organizers do something for the rockers. In announcing their improvements, festival organizers issued a statement saying, in the past, we've held back on moshing. I don't need to read this. You know what? I probably should because there's probably going to be some more funny things in here. Actually, I won't, but yeah, this is the same quote. Moshing is a vital part of rockers' release and metal experience. I just feel, in my head, I just see the Steve Buscemi meme. I want to know more. Like, so they said that they're going to have designated moshing areas, specifically at one stage. So is it going to be like a thing where in like certain states and counties, they legally have to split the crowd for drinking and non-drinking. I believe Colorado is like that in some places. Like I've done shows in Colorado where literally they're all ages shows, but because of local laws, they have to put a barricade down the middle of the fucking floor in front of the stage, and 21 and over are on one side of it, and then 21 and under are on the other side, because you can't mix the drinks in that crowd. Is it going to be like that? Are they good? Now I'm imagining they're going to have like a fucking cow pen. They're getting in the middle. Dude, can you imagine? Where's the pit generally? It shows middle of the floor, right? Center of the room. Dude, are they going to have like just fucking barricade in a circle in the middle of a floor, and they're going to have an entrance with a security guard? Yeah, like a bouncy house. They're going to have a security guard be like, are you sure you want to enter the moshing area? You can proceed at your own risk because you're safe out here. But once you come in here, it's a fucking Thunderdome. Just no flailing. I am so curious. If this were closer to me, I would buy a ticket to go just so I could fucking see it in person. Honestly, I'm being serious because I would love to see how you enforce this shit. I don't think it can be enforced. Unless you really have that big of a security crew there that they see one person trying to start a pit, they just throw them out immediately. Yeah, 2 men go in, 1 man comes out. There is going to be so many good memes from this, guaranteed. Dude, Shiraz brings up such a great point, as I said earlier. The minute you say don't do it, people will absolutely do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of rock and metal crowd, one, wants to go to a show where there's no moshing? And let's be clear, not everybody that goes to a show wants to mosh. There are probably people that are stoked about this, that are like, great, I would like to go to a show and not have to worry about getting fucking ninja kicked in the side of the head, and I could just watch a show and it'd be great. And that's awesome. But like, people at this point know the atmosphere of a rock and metal show. Like, there's going to be moshing, there's going to be crowd surfing. They didn't even bring up crowd surfing. What happens if somebody crowd surfs? They said no hardcore dancing and flailing, just moshing. Could you make the argument that a wall death is just moshing? Crowd surfing? No, crowd surfing's crowd surfing. Rope hits, yeah. Or can they start a rope hit? Technically, that's not moshing, so you could probably start a rope hit in the non-moshing area, actually. Did they ban drop kicks? I think drop kicks would count as the hardcore and flailing options for sure. Circle pit's just cardio. That's a fucking good point. What are the odds they'd know what a rope hit is? That's a great point. The festival organizers would probably see a rope hit and be like, what are they doing? What is this? They probably don't know. Here's the other thing to bring up. Sorry, this is going on forever, but there's so many questions in my head. They said they're doing a moshing zone at one of the stages. Oh, here's the schedule. Oh, shit. Dude, we got to get this back on screen. There are multiple stages. We just found out. Looks like there's 5. The Loud and Local stage, the Jack Daniels Tribute stage, the Budweiser's Boneyard stage, the Bud Light Who's on Top stage, and the main stage. Keep in mind, they said the only place that they are going to have a moshing area is the Budweiser Boneyard stage. So that means bands like Killswitch Engage, Stabbing Westward, Beartooth, Parkway Drive, Upon a Burning Body, Seven Dust, Atreyu, From Ashes to New, I See Stars. They are all on stages that will not have moshing zones. Actually, most of the bands on the Budweiser Boneyard stage are bands I've never really heard of, except for Psycho Stick, Citizen Kane, Silent Theory. Dude, this is not going to work. They're allowing moshing at the one stage where people probably aren't going to go mosh anyways. Like, look at the Bud Light Who's on Top stage. In one consecutive lineup, you've got I See Stars, From Ashes to New, and Atreyu. On another one, you've got Cold, Stabbing Westward, Beartooth, Parkway. And those are the stages that don't allow moshing. Fever 333 and Chevelle, no moshing on that stage. Yeah, dude, I don't see how this works. Now I'm just curious for this festival to come up and see what happens. And I guarantee you everybody's going to be like all the media outlets are going to be watching it too to see like, okay, did this work and what's going to happen? But you know what? I guess no moshing is probably not the end of the world, considering you've got other festivals that had overflowing doo-doo toilets, no sanitation stations, no water stations, local hands leaving because they weren't being taken care of. You know what I'm talking about. Let's wrap this one up. We're going to get unhinged here. I am curious to see how this one plays out. This is going to be interesting. I just, especially now that we've seen the stages and stuff like that, I would be curious to see videos from the crowds for like Parkway and Icy Stars and Upon a Burning Body, Seven Dust, Kill Switch. There's no way that they're going to enforce the no moshing for those, because this isn't like a liability thing. Tons of festivals, Warped Tour said it for years. Warped Tour always had signs up that said no moshing, no crowd surfing, but people did it anyways. That's an insurance liability thing, because if they say you can't mosh and you do and you get hurt, you can't go after them. This doesn't appear that it was ever an insurance liability thing. This appears that they've enforced no moshing every year. So I'd be curious to see how they handle it this year. But anyways, guys, to those of you on YouTube later, thank you very much for watching. To everybody that's live on Twitch now, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys getting involved with the discussion. If you're on YouTube and you want to join on Twitch, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech. I stream often. We talk about music, stuff like this, and you're more than welcome to join. I'm also on a ton of different social media. Pretty much everything is at TankTheTech, as you would expect. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I will be back very soon.